Have you ever heard of a grave that refused to get cold? This isn't just a campfire story. It's a chilling local legend from a small Tennessee town that has puzzled people for decades. Back in the winter of 1978, in a forgotten corner of eastern Tennessee, a strange rumor started to spread. In Cedar Hollow Cemetery, there was one grave that stayed warm even when the ground was covered in snow. The grave belonged to Eleanor Mayfield, a school teacher who had vanished one evening. Her body was found weeks later, frozen stiff, with an expression of pure terror on her face. The official cause of death was exposure. She was buried, and that should have been the end of it, but it wasn't. The first snowfall came on December 12th. The groundskeeper, Walter Briggs, was making his morning rounds when he noticed something bizarre. Every single grave was white with frost, except for Eleanor's. Her plot was completely clear, the soil dark and damp, with little wisps of steam rising into the freezing air. When he pressed his hand to the earth, it was warm, not just a little warm, body warm. The town thought it might be a ruptured pipe, but utility crews found nothing. No gas lines, no water lines, nothing to explain it. The ground beneath Eleanor's grave just stayed warm, even as the temperatures dropped below zero. The mystery deepened when a local university sent students to investigate. They placed temperature probes deep into the soil. The reading was always the same, 37 degrees Celsius, or 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit, the exact temperature of a living human body. Then came the knocking. One night, a deputy patrolling near the cemetery heard slow, rhythmic sounds. He followed the noise to Eleanor's grave. The sound was coming from beneath the dirt. 3 slow knocks, a pause, then 3 more. He called for backup, but by the time help arrived, the knocking had stopped. The ground was still warm. The official report blamed it on ground settling. The deputy quit his job and moved out of state 2 weeks later. Finally, under immense public pressure, the family agreed to have the grave exhumed. As workers dug, the warmth intensified. When they lifted the coffin lid, the crowd gasped. Eleanor's body showed no signs of decay. Her skin was still warm, but the most horrifying detail: her hand was no longer folded peacefully. Her fingers were curled outward, as if she had been pushing, clawing against the inside of the coffin lid. The coroner quickly declared it a rare case of natural preservation and ordered the coffin resealed. But the story doesn't end there. That same night, the grave was warm again. Then, 2 weeks later, after a powerful storm, it stopped. Townspeople went to the cemetery and found Eleanor Mayfield's grave gone. The headstone was lying neatly on its side. Where the grave had been was now a deep, narrow shaft disappearing into darkness. A search crew couldn't find the bottom. The next morning, the hole had filled itself in, perfectly flat and cold. To this day, the older residents of Hollis Ridge avoid that cemetery at night. Some believe Eleanor was buried alive. Others whisper that something ancient, living deep beneath the mountain, borrowed her warmth, and then came back to claim her. And they say, on the coldest winter nights, if you look closely, one patch of earth in Cedar Hollow still melts the snow first.